Hello, welcome to my channel StuckFiles. Today we will discuss about why it sucks to be a player facing injuries. In tennis, your body is your biggest weapon and your biggest risk. One wrong step, one torn muscle, one sharp twist. That's all it takes to go from rising star to the sidelines. Injuries don't just hurt your body. They mess with your ranking, your rhythm, your mind, and your money. While fans cheer for comeback stories, they forget how brutal the downtime really is. The missed tournaments, the sleepless nights, the fear that you'll never get back to where you were. Meanwhile, your opponents keep climbing. Your name drops off the radar. Your confidence slips away. And when you do come back, you're slower, you're rusty, and you're under pressure to prove you're still worth watching. This isn't just physical, it's personal. Because in tennis, one injury can cost you your career. This is what it feels like to be a player facing injuries, doubt, disruption, pain, silence, and a fight that doesn't end when the pain fades. Let's talk about the side of tennis most people never see, the reality of battling your own body just to stay in the game. Section 1, the pain that doesn't go away. Every tennis player plays through pain, but sometimes pain doesn't leave. It lingers, it nags, it grows. At first, it's just tightness, then it's soreness. Then one day, it's something worse, something you can't ignore. And suddenly, your entire game changes. Your serve loses pace. Your movement becomes cautious. Your confidence? Gone. The worst part? You're not even sure what's wrong. Doctors give vague answers. Scans aren't always clear. Rest might help, or it might just waste more time. So you gamble. You try to play through it, because missing one tournament means falling behind. And in tennis, no one waits for you. But playing through pain just makes it worse. You stop training the way you used to. You skip practices. You lie awake wondering if it's getting better or if it's permanent. Pain steals your focus. It breaks your rhythm. And it turns every match into a mental war. Not just against your opponent, but against your own body. Some players never recover fully. They adapt. They protect. They compromise. But deep down, they know they're not the same. That's the cruelty of it. You work your whole life to perfect your game, and one stubborn injury can start unraveling all of it. Pain doesn't just hurt, it haunts. Section 2. The rankings don't wait. In tennis, your ranking is everything. It decides your entry, your seed, your paycheck, your survival. So when you're injured, the tour doesn't pause. You miss 1 week, you drop a few spots. You miss a month, you plummet. Suddenly, you're out of the main draws. You're back to playing qualifiers. And if the injury is long-term, you might lose enough ground to fall off the map entirely. It doesn't matter what you did last season, or what your potential is. The rankings are cold. They don't measure pain, just points. And you can't protect your ranking unless you play. So players rush back too soon. Half healed, still in pain, still scared. But what choice do they have? Sit out longer and risk losing sponsorships, wild cards, relevance? Or come back too early and risk making it worse? It's a no-win situation. Every week you're not on court, someone else is taking your spot. You go from being a threat to a memory. That's why injury in tennis is more than just physical. It's career-threatening, because when you're not moving up, you're falling down. And no body, not fans, not tournaments, not even the rankings, waits for you to heal. Section 3. The comeback isn't clean. Injuries don't have clean timelines. You don't wake up one day fully healed. You come back in pieces, physically shaky, mentally unsure, rusty in every way. Your timing's off. Your footwork feels foreign. And the shots that used to be automatic now take extra thought and extra fear. You don't trust your body yet. You're hesitant. You're cautious. And in tennis, hesitation is deadly. Worse, people expect results. They hear come back and think you 100%, but you're not. You're patching together form on top of rehab. You're managing pain while trying to compete. You might be clear to play, but that doesn't mean you're ready to win. Every loss feels heavier. Every bad match adds doubt, and the question grows louder in your head. What if I'm never the same? Meanwhile, your opponent has momentum. They've been playing week after week. They're sharp, fit, and fearless. You're hoping just to survive the first set. There's no grace period, no soft return. You're thrown straight back into the fire and expected to pick up where you left off. But the truth is, the comeback is harder than the injury itself. Because pain fades, but rebuilding confidence, that takes longer than anyone thinks. Section 4. Isolation and silence. When you're injured, the world gets quiet. No matches, no media, no crowd noise. Just long days in rehab rooms and quiet nights in hotel beds. While the tour moves on, you're stuck watching from a distance. At first, people check in. Friends, fans, coaches. But as the weeks drag on, the messages slow down. You're not on the schedule. You're not in the draw. You're not in the conversation. And that silence? It gets heavy. You feel forgotten, irrelevant, invisible. The game you lived for, the game that gave you purpose, doesn't miss you. It just continues. You scroll social media and see your peers posting wins, trophies, interviews, highlights. You post from a rehab table. No one clicks. No one shares. You go from being part of the sport to being a spectator of your own career. And emotionally, that's crushing because tennis is already lonely, even when you're winning. When you're sidelined, it feels like you're not even part of the sport anymore. Some players start doubting their place in the game, wondering if they'll ever be seen again, or worse, if they were ever truly noticed to begin with. Injury doesn't just separate you from the court, it separates you from your identity. Section 5. The risk never leaves. Even when you heal, the fear stays. Because once your body betrays you, you never fully trust it again. Every sprint, every serve, every stretch, there's that little voice. Is this the moment it happens again? You can't play your best tennis with doubt in your head. But how do you ignore it? You've lived through the worst case scenario. You've seen how quickly everything can fall apart. And now, every move feels like a risk. Pushing too hard, you could tear something. Holding back, you could lose the point. It's a constant tightrope, and no one sees it but you. Then there's the pressure. From fans, from coaches, from yourself. They expect the old version of you to return. The same explosiveness, the same confidence, the same results. But your body isn't the same. Your rhythm is off. And deep down, you're scared of going all out because the last time you did, it cost you everything. It's not just physical anymore. It's psychological. You're fighting your body and your brain. Every point, every match. And even if you get through a tournament feeling fine, the anxiety never really leaves. It just hides until the next twinge, the next tweak, the next scare. That's the cruel reality. You can recover from an injury, but you never recover from knowing how fragile it all is. As we deeply discussed everything in all 5 sections, so now you know the price of pain in tennis. In tennis, injuries don't just sideline you. They define you. They change your path. And sometimes they end it. Fans remember the comebacks. They cheer the recoveries. But they rarely understand the cost. The pain, the pressure, the isolation, the fear. For every star who returns stronger, there are dozens who never make it back, who fade out quietly, not because they lost talent, but because their bodies couldn't hold up. Tennis doesn't offer much protection. No garantías salariales. No long-term security. You're only as good as your last result. And if you're not on court, you don't exist. Injuries strip everything away. Momentum, ranking, income, identity. And when you finally return, you're expected to prove yourself all over again, like your years of effort never happened. That's what makes injury in tennis so brutal. It's not just about healing. It's about rebuilding physically, mentally, and emotionally. And the truth is, not everyone can. So the next time you see a player struggling to move, or pulling out of a match, or disappearing from the tour, know this: they're not weak. They're not done. They're in the hardest fight of their lives. And it's happening far beyond the spotlight. Because in tennis, you don't just battle opponents. You battle your own body. And that might be the toughest opponent of all.